All right, hello everybody. Nicholas Ashbaugh here, welcoming you to the weekly collective reading. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be focusing, as always, at basically the next 7 days, and we'll also be looking at a special topic, which is, of course, the new moon, which is upon us. And it's a great time for you to start new things, plant new seeds, and we're going to be focusing on the big special topic just at potential. And that means hidden potential, things that might otherwise kind of like escape your view. So I think today is very cool. We'll be looking at it almost from like a private investigator POV when we're going into the main spread. First things first, again, great to see everybody. Apollo's behind me, watching over all of us. And again, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Today I am packing up and getting ready to move. I should be in a new location this time next week. And the next couple of days will be a little bit disruptive with respect to schedule. I'm going to try to get the last 2 videos that are due out today before I pack everything up here. So appreciation, I just like to express appreciation to all of you for your patience. In fact, because I was packing and getting stuff ready, we're going to just channel in real time as we get started with the channeled messages. I've been picking up on things in dreams and meditation, but I just didn't have time to lay it all out. So that's actually what channeling is. So it's all good to do it in real time. So let's talk about what I was picking up on for you today as I was packing and thinking about the reading. The first thing that came through in my third eye was just a gigantic magnet and just this potential. It's basically, here's the cool thing with magnets. It's where you're pointing it and what you're pointing it at. So in this particular week ahead, the big opportunity for you is to think, do I like what I'm drawing into my energy, into my orbit? Or is it just like dust and chaos and noise? If you like it, good. And if you don't, point it in another direction. Because you can pull a lot of things in, but it needs to be something that's lifting you up, supporting you, bringing you some sort of value and organization into your life. So envision yourself as the magnet this week. And I think this is a really good manifestation sort of technique. So for many of you, it's going to be important for you to just sort of like think about what it is that you want, see it coming closer to you, and really focus on it's not a matter of if, but when. And I think that's the big takeaway with the magnet. The other thing is, if you know, there's certain types of, magnets have to be put in a certain position for them to attract. So if your frequency is, in a higher sort of energy and there's people around you that aren't resonating, just like the magnets can push away another magnet or flip them around, you can kind of do that too. People can meet your frequency or they're going to go in another direction. So you can also think of this as a great way to sort of clear out the clutter. The other thing that I was picking up on was foundations. And foundations take time because if you don't build them correctly, there's a crack in that foundation. Everything that is going to subsequently be built upon that foundation is ultimately going to have to be redone. So one thing that I would say this week is don't rush yourself. If I were to feature a card here, it would be Temperance or even the Hanged Man. For the magnet one, it would just be an ace, like the Ace of Pentacles. So we've got an Ace of Pentacles, which is like lots of possibility. And then we have like a Hanged Man and Temperance card saying take your time, make sure that you're looking at everything, looking at it from all angles, getting other perspectives on what you're doing, including experts, whether it's legal expertise or a counselor, etc. And again, this is going to save you a lot of time in the long run. And other than that, I think it's just being open this week because we have the new moon. It's about potential. So we can sometimes project into something new, our own expectations without actually allowing things to show up. So I'm all for manifestation, but I think if you could leave space in your mind, in your heart, in your life for something new, something better, that's another kind of manifestation you could play around with this week. I think that could be super advantageous. And sometimes even better because the universe may have an upgrade, may have something beyond your wildest expectations, which is, by the way, why I always encourage us to add something to the end, like all of this or more when you're putting a wish out to the universe. You got to be ready, willing, and sort of open to it, but you also have to be open to getting something better, getting something faster, All of that could happen if you allow it to. Okay? I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you like it just in real-time channeling like that without me putting a presentation together and going through it, because I can do it either way. Sometimes it's fun. I'm like, today we just have to try something different. I'm a big fan of change. All right, so for today, the next thing that we're going to be looking at, again, welcome to the collective, we're going to move on to a 7-day forecast to kind of help us drill into everything that's coming through day by day. So you have your kind of playbook for the week ahead. And I know that this helps me. I know a lot of you tend to really say thank you for this portion, so I hope you like it. Close your eyes if you will, and I'd like you just to clear out any sort of preconceived thoughts or notions that you might have in your mind. We don't need those right now. Let's call in the guides, the angels, and the spirit guides to help us out and see what we need to see for the next 7 days. Okay. Yeah, the reason I like channeling in real time is that's how it works if you get a reading, and it goes faster sometimes. And then I can just go with what I'm getting. So we'll try new things. You know I like to try new things. Okay, let's see what's coming in for this week. We've got some healing going on this week. I can see that already. All right. Let's begin. We're going to start off here with the energy for today, this Sunday, and we have the Three of Swords. So, Three of Swords comes through when we still may be licking the wounds of something from the past. It could be a disappointment. Sometimes it can even be a health issue that's popping through. It can be emotions, but typically it embodies some sort of recovery and a need to take care of yourself. So the number one thing that I could say today, and it is in alignment with the card that I pulled the day before when I'm kind of tuning into the potential, is do something that creates like peace, happiness, joy in your life. It's been a message that's bubbled over 2 days in a row, and that can help get you out of the energy of the sort of like, because it might be a little bit of a cloud that's kind of lingering. I don't feel like this Three of Swords, it's not actually piercing her heart. She's okay, she's holding on to it, and we see the birds kind of wanting to help her clear that out. So I get that this is more residual pain from the past. And so changing routines can definitely help with residual pain. The other thing is talking it out, being around friends. I was at a gathering the other night where that was part of what it was. If there's something difficult in your life, sometimes it's great to have friends around you. Or if there's a really interesting new thing that you're going through and you just need to check in with your closest friends, I feel like that could be very helpful here. Okay? But with Three of Swords, right after this is the Four of Swords. So the other thing is some of you might just be overworked. If you are, and I can, it's been a busy week for me. Like today we'll be doing 3 videos plus the daily just to get it all done. So we sometimes have to push ourselves, but tomorrow I'll be doing Four of Swords energy, which is rest. So you can take it easy today. You don't have to do everything for everybody, right? And even if you do, make sure you're getting enough sleep. Because I just feel like there could be a little bit of a feedback loop that's happening with that stress cycle. So that's enough said on that. The other thing here, obviously, if there's anything going on, either with emotional issues like depression, or if you're feeling anything in the heart space, obviously you'll want to work with someone to get assistance this week on that. Okay, Monday, let's see what's coming through here. We have Two of Swords in reverse. For some of you, you're tired of playing a role. This is very interesting how we see like the drama and comedy masks that she's holding, or just the masks that people want us to put on. And it can be the role of sister, brother, mother, father, all that stuff. We're more than that. And part of this is you sort of seeking clarity on who you are, your identity, and maybe like where you're headed, and not needing to kind of wear the mask a little bit. So revelation energy is what Two of Swords in reverse is. seeing something and addressing it, because the Two of Swords in the upright position is ignoring it or not being seen or feeling like there's no direction. So it's actually auspicious to get one of these cards that show all of those energies reversed, because it's a lessening of it or a turning in a new direction of it. I always like to imagine that of those two swords, now there's clarity and she's going to go to the ace and say, this is what I want. I'm going to leave that behind. So choices need to be made similar to the Two of Pentacles, but you're going to have to do the choosing. No one can really tell you what to do. You'll have to feel it out. And I think that's why the energy from Sunday can help with Monday. Heal yourself, clear the heart, trust yourself, give yourself permission to be happy, take that Ace of Swords from the Two of Swords, and then move in that direction. If something doesn't sound, feel, or look right, address it. That's the main thing here. We can't sweep things under the rug when the Two of Swords is reversed. It's like Jack in the Box that can't go back in because it's too big, and there's something like that where it just doesn't fit anymore. So it's okay to want something different or to move in a new direction. All right. Yeah, I wasn't doing this on purpose. I just grabbed the black and white deck, but it does match all the cards here. Okay, so let's take a look now at the energy coming through for Tuesday. We're seeing some increases in your resources. So Seven of Pentacles in the reverse position is reminding you not to rush, not to overextend, not to, again, push yourself too far, too fast, etc. In this illustration, they're using the metaphor of baking. So bread or cookies or whatever it is she's making there, you have to always pay attention to precision. Baking's one thing that you can't fake. There are certain, like other types of cooking, you can add a dash of this, do a little bit of that, change the timing. But for anybody who watches like the British Bake Off or stuff like that, you know that they have to measure certain things, and timing is important. Sometimes they're sitting there waiting and making sure that they don't mess it up. So this is a day where it's good to be measured in your approach, because you're taking with you the lessons of the Six of Pentacles, which is measuring things out, and don't rush. And in the traditional illustration, we see a guy that is a little bit impatient with the fact that things aren't going faster and growing quicker, but it's still growth, folks. The Seven of Pentacles is still a good card. So embrace what you have, know that there's more on the way, and it's not done until it's done. So if there's someone in your life on Tuesday that is trying to rush you to send an email or go and buy something before you're ready or sign on the dotted line and you don't feel it, don't do it. All right? That's the takeaway. A little bit slow, a little bit more steady, get all your ducks in a row, and then do it. You're very close, but I feel like Tuesday is a day to contemplate and to see what's in front of you. Okay? And if there are any sort of financial things that are not aligned, like you need more money, you need more time, articulate that. You're probably starting to see it on Monday. On Tuesday is when it comes through verbally. Things are looking good at the midweek. The Nine of Wands on Wednesday basically is showing you that you're close to the finish line. This Nine of Wands is worse for the wear. Like, wow, look at all of that. Let me pull the traditional card up, because I like to see this as a card of survival, perseverance, etc. Here's the traditional one. So in this one, he's a little perturbed, but he's there, and he's not as sort of like this one. Please get your sleep. That's what I'm seeing on that one. What we can see in these illustrations, though, is there are limits to the body. We can get away with a lot more when we're really, really young, but with each passing decade, there is less that you can get away with. You're not going to be able to pull an all-nighter. You're not going to be able to. So just say no, and remember, this is a long-distance run, emphasis on the long, and we want to have more to give tomorrow, okay? So it may, again, the persistent thread this week is it may take a little bit longer, but the foundational thing that I was seeing and when I was tuning into to everybody, I think is key. It's better to build things strong, and then it's going to last. It's like what we see in the ruins of Rome, for instance, or anything from the antiquity, the pyramids at Giza. All of these things that have stood the test of time. They've been around for several millennia, because they were foundationally solid. So we want to build something like that rather than a lot of the stuff that we're building nowadays, where we'll be lucky if it lasts 100 years. So build it to last and don't give up. Those are the two takeaways. Push back on any nonsense. Take care of your body. In particular with this one is showing, maybe even for some of you, there may be repetitive injury in the arms, like from typing, but a lot of times it can just be headache, migraine. And it can be from dehydration, stress, thinking it through something too much. And so stress management is increasingly important in the midweek. But you can finish anything that you set your mind to. So that's the key thing, okay? As we take a look at, where are we on Thursday? What we have here is, this is where I wanted you to be open, less prescribed. So kind of like what I was doing at the beginning. So if I just know 2 or 3 things that I'm going to talk about and then go with it, a lot of times it flows freer than if I have all the bullets and I feel like I have to talk about everything. So in your life, have a few things on your to-do list and then let it go and then see like, well, how is it organically going to come together? So we have Knight of Wands energy. We have this little sprite, this little spark of energy coming through, and he's really, really focused on it. The reversal of this is saying, don't forget to look around you. Yes, this one thing that you're trying to bring forward is good, but it's kind of like running with scissors. You need to slow down and make sure that they're in the right direction so that you're not kind of like creating more trouble. So that's one thing. And also, if you only think it can happen one way, then it's probably only going to happen one way. So imagine that it could happen another way, or that there might be a different solution in front of you, and this allows for a breakthrough, okay? Knight of Wands is good for business and good for communicating things, and listening is key, and communicating in different ways, nonverbal, like illustrations, things like that, also good. You got to keep an open mind to different ways that people process information. They're not all going to process it the same way as you. It's not going to be as obvious as it is to you. So don't be impatient if someone asks what you would think is an elementary or obvious question. They're just thinking in a different manner. So be patient and say, how could I make it clearer to you? What are you not understanding? I'd love for you to wrap your head around this. So just be patient with different ways of communicating and learning as well. Teachers need to do that all the time, but a lot of us don't kind of have to deal with this on a day-to-day basis. Things are looking great actually on Friday. This is where everything comes together. So we have the Knight of Cups. We see him kind of like taking the energy of the sails and directing them. So your passion is sort of like, it's the wind beneath other people's wings and sails, and it's bringing things forward. So have a good time. This is a great day, by the way, for any type of meeting, whether it's professional, personal, love, anything of that nature. Great day for creative activities. And it just feels like things are going to go in a really easy flow come Friday. And that's good because you've had a lot of internal work that you've been doing in the previous part of the week. It pays off. The slow, steady foundational building that I talked about in the channeled messages pays off. And it's going to be all right, folks. Friday's a good day. All right, let's look at the weekend. Next Saturday, here's what we've got here. We have the 7 of Wands. Don't be afraid to say no. Feel free also to push back on anything that just is a waste of time. Or again, as someone that is maybe just testing to see if you're truly ready to do something. They'll say something, well, have you thought about this? Are you sure? Or whatever. And you could just say, I'm absolutely sure. Are you seem uncomfortable with it. I'm good. And you can just push it back. And if someone tries to get you to do something you didn't agree to, you just say, that's not what we talked about. This is what we talked about. So you're going to bring it back into clarity. You're going to hold your ground, and you can be strong and assertive without getting overly defensive. Defend yourself without getting defensive. That's basically the takeaway in the 7 of Wands in reverse, because it can sometimes seem like there's a technique that some people will use to try to get you to feel like you have to get like something's wrong. It's like gaslighting. Like you've done something wrong when you haven't done something wrong. So breathe, think about it for a second, and then just say, that's actually not it, right? Like, that's not going to work on me. And that will you're going to take your power back. So there are public speakers that do that sometimes. They try to get you to go on the defensive because they won't take accountability, right? Sometimes there's people out there that the immediate thing that they'll do, it's often in narcissistic personalities, but instead of listening and saying, oh, I hadn't thought of that, or thanks for sharing, they're like, why are you reacting like this? Why are you getting emotional? You're not getting emotional. You're just conveying a communication. So you can say, I'm not emotional. I'm just telling you that's not what we talked about. You seem to be getting emotional. So just reflect it right back and don't take the bait. Okay? As we take a look here at next Sunday, love it. We've got an ace energy coming through. So a week from today, we have the Ace of Cups, and the cup is overflowing. This is showing me that many of you have listened and done the work on healing. You haven't taken all of this extra energy in. We talked about the magnet. The magnet, here's what's cool here. Like, many of you that are watching have worked on yourself, and you're like this beam of light. And there's a lot of moths out there that are drawn to you. Not all of those are worth the time and energy. So you have to really sometimes point the energy somewhere else and don't feed it. So that's the key thing. And it looks like many of you have done that. That's going to give you more energy because you're not wasting your time on people, places, and things that are not receptive to you and not supportive of you. This is a perfect day to begin anew, something brand new. You may have an opportunity for love, friendship, something creative, or it's a fulfillment moment where your heart is kind of skipping a beat. Next Sunday is just a great day overall. Aces are about potential, so whenever I see an ace, the universe is kind of reminding you through me that what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with this thought, this idea, this intention? So take it to the next level. Highlights and lowlights, and then we'll move on to the elemental. So for the week ahead, I'll just dim it a bit because that card is dark. For the week ahead, here's what I see. The highlights of the week, I love Friday, and I love next Sunday because we've got the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, things moving forward, a wish coming true, happiness overall. Challenging energies of this week. I think we're mostly through the Three of Swords. It's just a matter of agreeing, like, let's move in a different direction or let something go. I think the most challenging day for some of you could simply be the beginning of the week on Monday, deciding to change something and look in a new direction. The rest of these cards are pretty manageable. These are strong cards. This is a card of defense. This is a card of perseverance. So as long as you lean into that, I think you'll be fine. Overall, great week. We don't have a lot of challenging cards this week, like a Tower, a Devil, a Ten of Swords. Most of them were minor arcana, meaning that the issues are not as heavy. So that's a good thing, folks. We like it when there's something more manageable, and it makes it easier on me as a reader too. All right, so let's take a look here at the elemental breakdown for this week. This is the only portion that's going to be specific to the signs. We group them into threes under the elements. So let me pick a deck for that and we'll get started. All right. Fire, earth, air, and water. I felt like we needed a lot of color after having all of the darker sort of black and white decks here. Now we actually have vivid colors. All right, let's begin with fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's a good week. If you combine all the messages that we just talked about, this is the payoff. That's kind of how this works. So adding them together, your week is coming to this sort of sum of the daughter or the page of pentacles. What I like about this illustration and what it's conveying to you is keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on the horizon. And really, when you believe what it is that you're talking about, what you're showing, it's so much easier for other people to connect because they feel it too. They're like, oh, I get, it's very clear. You're very passionate. You're very solid. You're very confident. That confidence makes me feel confident. So if you can work on that this week when you're communicating, because pages communicate, things are good. When you receive something, measure it. We've got scales coming through in the next subset of signs. Measure it with your heart and think, does it feel right? Do I like this? She's discerning. She's looking at that and saying, is it good enough for me? because we're so trained and used to saying, is this enough for you? And we forget to turn it around. So is it good enough for you? Do you believe what you're selling as well and putting out there? You got to believe it, and you need to feel like worthy of, and also like you're being taken care of here. There could be contracts in front of you. You might be looking at your money a little bit more. You might be talking about things that you want. You have a good chance of getting it. She's very persuasive in the way that she's illustrated here. Okay? So not a lot to say here except, stay focused. It's good. I'll take a Page of Pentacles. You got a good week ahead of you, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Moving on to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Decision time is what we've got. Justice card in the upright position. It also means that things are starting to get better. You're finding a newfound balance. You may be fighting or advocating for doing the right thing. And you realize that justice isn't blind. You're trying to see things from all perspectives. Behind justice, once the decision has been made, we see a door, a portal. So this week is about knowing that the sooner you wrap your head around something and make a decision or declare it, the quicker you can get to that destination. So the decision may feel like it's the hardest part, but it is sometimes just about articulating what's already here and already in your third eye. So that's what I'm getting. If there's any legal matters, great week to talk to a lawyer and get those addressed. If something isn't feeling right, you're going to right a wrong. You're going to address it. That is actually what the Two of Swords was asking you to do. You're not a faceless, nameless person. Your voice, your vision, your thoughts matter. Sometimes you got to put it into a legal document and say, this isn't working, this isn't right, and fight for yourself if you want to. But mostly justice is weighing options in your life, making a decision, and creating better balance so you can kind of embrace those high-level tenets and you'll be fine this week. Balance, we'll take it. You're finding balance in the week ahead, earth signs, and that's a good thing. All right, air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Being open to life's hidden blessings. So this is one of the cooler illustrations for the Four of Cups. We see her tuning in because all she's seen previously is what's there. So if you were to kind of like take away the three cups in the front, it's an ace. So something didn't go the way you wanted this week. Usually with the Four of Cups, you're comparing your life to someone else. And you're thinking, the grass is greener over there, or things aren't happening, what am I doing wrong? Maybe everything is happening at exactly the right time. Maybe there is this higher purpose to everything that's going on. And only when you slow down, I was talking about temperance and hanged man energy, it allows you to look beyond. This, by the way, can be what other people are putting in front of you. The Three of Cups. It can be friends, it can be coworkers, it can be gossip. You're tuning it out and you're tuning in to the higher source. You're taking your magnet and turning it to the sky. And that's what all of my air signs can do this week is say, I'm ready for something bigger, better, and brighter, because you absolutely can bring it in. And don't compare yourself to other people. It does not help. I don't know why I'm clapping, but it helps to sometimes clap on the points. It doesn't help. It's only going to frustrate you. So you're only comparing yourself with yourself. You're only competing with yourself, just like an athlete in the Olympics, to use a real life example. Usually they're competing against their own best times. There may be other people there, but they're doing it for themselves at the end of the day. So you should just be competing against yourself and comparing it to your own past rather than looking at others, unless you want to inspire yourself. But if it starts to get to the place where you're like, why isn't it happening? That's counterproductive. Takeaway, though, for all the air signs, there is a hidden blessing. Things are not happening haphazardly. There is something bigger, better, and brighter, but you have to tune the magnet towards the firmament. Okay, now we're moving on to water signs. It's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Stress management becomes increasingly important, especially as we look at this. We have a full moon here. So in this next month ahead, in this next lunar cycle, it's going to be increasingly important for you to realize there are some things that you can and you should control. There are some things that it's not within your energy to affect. We can't make somebody do something. We can't force them to agree with us. We can't change the past. We can learn from it. So know what's within the realm of your control and what isn't, and then really focus on meditation, exercise, working with things that are going to help you channel, release, and alleviate stress in your life, okay? I'm going to pull up the traditional one for just a second here as well. One thing, oh, it was right here. Thank you, universe. It's very fast today. Everything's coming through quickly. So usually it's not as bad as it seems. So don't make something bigger than it needs to be. What is it, a mountain out of a molehill? Make sure that you're getting ample rest in your life. Quality and quantity matter. Change up. This is a technique that can help. Changing up the color of your bedspread and your sheets, as well as the color of the paint on the wall in your bedroom. We want to go for cooler, softer colors. You can do warmer too. You want to probably avoid something super vibrant, like we don't necessarily want, if it gets too bright, like yellow's nice, especially for a kid's room, but if it gets too bright, too red, too orange, too yellow, it's going to be hard to rest. Cooler things like blues and greens and purples are good for sleeping because they're soothing energies, they're protective energies, they're the higher chakras. It doesn't mean you can't have a bedspread that's a different color, but you can introduce more of those cooler colors in your room and see if that doesn't help a little bit. Think of the ocean, anything that you would see around the ocean, and then you can highlight with the sunset colors too, a little bit of the peach, a little bit of the yellow, a little bit of the orange. So you can use nature as your decorator. That helps. I'm getting a lot of ocean imagery as I'm looking at what could help you with your bedroom. So just imagine the beach, bring some of the beach energy there, and that could help as well. Okay? So stress management this week, sleep management this week, and don't take on more than you need to. And don't sort of get into that space where you start thinking of all the problems that could happen. This is what this card is. Oh my God, what about this? What about that? Maybe this. There comes a point where that just then, it sort of like feeds on itself, okay? Because it's a new month, let's take a moment now and say thanks. I'm going to do a little bit of a gifting here. Let me see if I can pull up my channel page. So, by the way, memberships are a great way to give back to the channel. They're a great way. I'm going to start doing some exclusive things over this month ahead. But today, I'm just going to gift a couple memberships because I can. And you can be a part of this. So let's see. Here we go. Membership gifting. Here we go. Gifting 5. Congratulations to the 5 people that just received a membership, hopefully, from me. There you go. And if you want to gift one, you can do that as well. By the way, I'm moving, as many of you know, and if you would like to show a little bit of support, I have on my website, I'm going to put the link here, a way to help out with the purchasing of new decks. So I put it on my main page here. Let me just go here really quickly. Okay, so if you go to show support on my main page, but I'm just going to put it here, and I can pin the comment. And then Dakota, if you want to put something. Actually, I'll just do it. There we go. So if you go there, you can actually, there's a link there at the top to gift me a deck through the Amazon Wishlist. So there you go there. And then I'll also put the link here in chat if you want to do that as well. So this is a way for you to help me repurchase my decks, because even what you see here, I'm going to release before I move because of basically mold and damage from the water. So there we go. If you want to gift a deck, you can do it. I said I was going to set it up. I finally did. I usually don't put stuff out there like that, but this is a nice way for you to buy it. It'll go to my P.O. box. And then I will, if you put your name on the purchase of it, I'll give you a shout out when I use it the first time. So there we go. All right, let's get started on the special topic for today. And today's special topic is looking at potential. And I think that we were talking about that quite a bit just a moment ago. So this is a chance to get out of your head. And if there's something in your life that has been sort of challenging you a little bit, and you're trying to think, how do I get out of this? What is this all about? What's coming through? This is the right place to be for that. Okay. So, by the way, on that patron place, there's also, if you just want to give as a PayPal, you can do that too. I welcome it because I have to replace everything, including my lighting equipment. So it's a lot, folks. But I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, sometimes the resets are worth it because I have to get a new desk, all that stuff. So this is going to be a brand new start for me. And as we kind of get into new starts, it can be a lot of fun. It's an energetic reset. So it'll be a little bumpy the first week or two, but just bear with me. It's fun. Just kind of like today, sometimes change can be good. All right, close your eyes if you will. We're going to use the Light Seers deck for today. Let's call in again angels, ascended masters, and spirit guides to help guide us in the right path, showing us hidden potential and allowing us to see what's possible. This is for everybody that is present today. Think of it as an energetic forecast. We all are in the same sort of energy. You can always go to your sign-specific reading to get more information. And I'll be looking at Aquarius and Pisces later today. I got to try to move through those quickly. All right, let me take a quick drink and then we'll get into this. All right, we're going to start off first with the catalyst energy. Couldn't ask for a better catalyst. And I think this is nicely aligned with the new moon, which is all about potential. Typically on a full moon, we release stuff. We can plant seeds of intention on a new moon. So the High Priestess is coming in here saying, if you can see it, you can do it. If you believe it, you can also see it and find it in your life. And she's holding the Ankh almost like, well, it's not quite an Ankh in this one, but it should be an Ankh. The shape looks different, but it's almost like a mirror or a magnifying glass. So this is a time to really look for it, almost like, I know it's out there. Where is it? Rather than, can I do it? Will it happen? Is this going to be okay? She's finding the path that's going to align her. So know that you are powerful, know that you are perceptive, know that you are protected and guided. And just like the lotus that we see behind her, sometimes you have to go through the murky waters before things get great. So in tarot, you have to go through the tower before you get the star. And so for many of you, you might have had, like me, a tower moment, but then you know that things get better after that. So we're going to focus on finding the star. We have the Merkaba at the top here, which is also the reminder of this. So we're looking to create star energy. We've been through the mud, the murk. We're looking for the opportunities that we know exist. We're finding the synchronicity, or we're at least open to it, because you can't really force the synchronicity. Just looking at the overarching spread here, what I see for many of you is I love the partnership and friendship energy here on the horizon as we're looking at hope, spheres, and possibilities and the outcome. Some of the challenges are releasing grief, releasing pain, and part of that can involve movement or travel. So let's start with that center card, 6 of Swords. Are you stuck in the past, or are you approaching the future here, or the possibilities? I love the illustration here because she's somewhere in the middle, and that's an okay place to be, because from the middle you can see how far and how hard it was to kind of like to get to this point, how far you've come, I should say, and then you can also see the promise of something different and something new on the horizon. She's still not looking completely forward. She's looking down. So I was talking about changing the magnet. She needs to look up or look around just a little bit. And one step at a time. With the Six of Swords, just keep moving. You're moving, it feels like you're moving in the right direction based on the spread. So keeping up the pace and the cadence. I think looking at your schedule this month and being a lot more tactical and thoughtful and intentional about how you spend your time and energy and your money, for that matter, is going to help. And this is going to help you keep up with the pace here. And I mentioned the whole metaphor of people that do like long distance running. When you don't just sprint for however many meters, if you have to keep running for hours, you have to pace yourself and know when to go into overdrive and when to just kind of keep that pace. And that's the main takeaway here. Some days will be a little bit faster paced than others, but we're avoiding burnout because that is actually what came through representing you. You're walking away from 10 of Swords moments. People that try to irritate. People that try to take advantage of you if you're trying to be perfect. And that's kind of the challenge here because it's in the environment and there's some tendencies from the past. So we're breaking through that. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to take the bait. You're going to keep on keeping on. You're not alone this month. 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups. Very good energy from a partnership perspective. That's kind of everything that I'd want. Maybe 4 of Wands and Lovers. That's the only thing missing, but I'll take this. So you're connecting with the inner child. I love this illustration for that reason. It shows that 6 of Cups does not need to be some friend from the past. In this case, it might be the dog, but it can also be us, you, your younger self, saying, I'm still there, I'm still with you, and let's keep the promises that we made to ourselves, because all of that foundational energy for love and relationships begins with you. And are you feeling like that inner child has been sort of loved and supported, and the wishes have been fulfilled? This can also be someone from the past coming through. Interestingly enough, even for myself, I know I have a few old friends from different parts of the US coming through this week, so it aligns with me. So it could be a chance for you to connect with an old coworker, an old schoolmate, maybe someone even like a sibling, because this can be sibling energy. So healing and addressing and releasing energies around that, something that could be really powerful in this week. And if you're looking to get pregnant, this can also be multiple births, usually fraternal twins, but there might be twinning energy coming through. And good things could be coming in twos. So, or multiples, because we had the 3 of Cups and the 2 of Cups. So 2, 4, 6 or 3, 6. So you could have multiple opportunities in front of you, either 2 or 3. So that's not a bad thing. It's positive. It's just going to be challenging for some of you maybe to keep up the pace there. Okay. In your deep past here, we have what I was talking about with foundations. Hierophant energy is very structured, very sometimes rigid, traditional, measured. We were talking about measuring things out for baking. All of that would be part of the Hierophant, but you can also have fun with it. I like that we have a younger Hierophant in this particular deck. So you can infuse new ways of working with some of these traditional elements, and that might even strengthen it further. But it's good to be organized. It's good to have solid ground beneath you and take your time in creating that. You could work with a mentor. Hierophant can definitely be an advisor, whether spiritual or intellectual or whatever, emotional. Advisors can help out with all of this. One thing that you're seeing, hopefully, from a perspective of empowerment here, because it says harness mystic power, and this is a very sacred mystical card as well, but there's no gatekeeper on this one. Usually there are 2 keys at the bottom, 2 disciples, and the Hierophant, which is a papal figure. In this one, all of that energy is comprised within the one figure. So you're the key, you're the gatekeeper, you're the mystic. And it gets clear that all of that is true the older you get, because a lot of people in your life transition into spirit, and you have to hold those roles that were held by maybe a sibling or a parent or a friend. It's all within. So the sooner you realize that it's all within, the more powerful, the more quickly you can manifest. And that's the takeaway with that. Here we go with the Nine of Wands. This one looks a lot less tired than the black and white deck that I was using. But she could be working smarter. So with this one, the light is not necessarily being shined in the direction that's going to make the most sense. She could be pushing stuff from the past, people from the side. There's a lot of stuff. I actually think what's going on is, for some of you, there is a person around you that is like this crow squawking in his ear. It's just like, not this again. We've talked about this. And that is actually you're going to elevate the conversation. Just say, we've already discussed this. And just keep interjecting the question. You'll see this a lot of times when someone has to moderate a conversation or a debate, for instance, and someone won't answer. You have to just say, we've talked about that. Next question, or your time is up. So we're seeing that on TV sometimes. And just like athletes, if you look at the Olympics, they only have a certain amount of time to do something. Hold people to the times, and when they go over those, you're going to move on. We don't need you spinning your wheels in the mud. And I think that's the main takeaway there. Self-care is going to be increasingly important again, really focusing on everything comprised in the head. So this is mental health. This is also, for some of you, not stressing yourself and thinking about things too much, really taking care. All right, in the crowning position, Knight of Pentacles, moving in a new direction, leaving a trail of abundance behind him. Now that's kind of interesting. I do think that there could be something that you have inadvertently not sort of addressed. So like it could be an old email, something that a conversation where someone said, hey, I have this thing. Blah, blah, blah. It feels like there's some things that you haven't like sowed in the background here, sowing these seeds. So make sure that you haven't missed something, an opportunity, or that you have at least come through on all of your obligations. Things are moving quickly and moving in the right direction when it comes to money and resources this week, and so that's good. And also interesting that he's barefooted here. So he's chosen to really stay grounded in what he's doing. He's not riding the horse, slower, taking your time. All of those things are coming through time and again. Let me take another drink, and then we're going to talk about the Eight of Swords. Okay. In the Eight of Swords here, we have the sort of like nexus between what you see and what others see, or what's really there, and the fear energy that we talked about. So I had the Nine of Swords in that Afro-Goddess deck, and then I showed the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith one. This one has a similar, this one can help you avoid the Nine of Swords altogether. When we look at her, she's fine, right? She looks good. When we look at what she's projecting, what she's fearing, it is this feeling of being, oh my gosh, I'm stuck. I can't do this. How's this going to happen? It's the prison of thought. So she's freeing herself from the prison of thought here because the card is reversed, and thinking, maybe, what if it's not that hard? So I always talk about turning the questions around. What if it's easier? What if it happens more quickly? What if this was cosmically aligned to set you up for success? What if? When you open up that channel, then the magnet turns in another direction and you can attract it, and your thoughts manifest. So what if it's going to be better now? What if this path is better than what you were on before? And what if you can recover or recuperate quicker than you thought? What if things are going to be just fine? These are the things to kind of help you get out of this prison of thought. Because we've gotten both the Two and the Eight of Swords, which are blindfolded, and again, that blindfold goes around the ears. There are two ways to look at this. One is people around you could have cotton in their ears. They're not listening, or they're choosing to ignore, or that could be you. And all you can do is hold up the mirror. You can't force someone to see it. If they're not ready to listen or to see it, don't waste your time. This is then feeding into the environmental card here, the Five of Swords. It creates this. Someone who is either argumentative, not unaccountable, or just doesn't like to hear things that are constructively critical. They're just hearing the critical piece. So the timing is off with that person. It's not worth your time. You hold the mirror. If they don't look, you move on. You've got better things to focus on this week, folks. Don't take the bait for an argument. This Ten of Swords features someone walking away. There may be someone in your life that tries to follow you or doesn't take no for an answer. And what you will remind them with no sense of like needing to get upset or anything, just no means no. I said we're done. So you can go in a new direction, you can hold firm to that, and it doesn't need to accelerate, exacerbate, or elevate beyond that. Take special care of yourself. This can be burnout, folks. So if you are exhausted, if you are sick, if you are done, give yourself enough time to recover, to recalibrate, and you'll be better for that because you can't push beyond the Ten of Swords. You don't want to. Let's put it that way. It's Tower and Devil energy beyond that. So better to just take some time and be late than to push yourself to the point of fatigue or injury, because that can be a part of this. For those that do have any sort of persistent health issues, this can sometimes be in the back, and it can be it can be emotional, but it can also be sort of like chronic pain or fatigue. So absolutely take care of that if you need to. We talked at pretty good length of the Five of Swords. One thing that I'd like to bring to special discussion at this point is that usually associated with the Five of Swords, there's a sibling card, and it's the Seven of Swords, and there's a card pulling the strings, which is the Devil. These cards work together. I found that as a reader over many, many years. So this person is probably being affected by someone else, and so whatever's going on, it's not the source. You're actually probably dealing with someone one step away that's the troublemaker. So this is another reason not to waste your time with that person in front of you. There's something else or someone else, and it's not probably not worth your time. But if it is something that needs to be fixed, especially for those of you that got the Justice card, you might document it. You might go directly to the source and say, stop it. I see what you're doing. Stop. But if you need help on this or an advocate, absolutely. For most of us, though, this is just someone that doesn't want to listen to the fact that they could have done better. They're not willing to take accountability. You're going to move in a new direction. It's not worth your time. Okay? Hopes, fears, and opportunities. We have the Three of Cups. Could be new love, friendship, networking events coming through. And this is good. This is also, by the way, for people that are, I saw in the comments someone saying that they're feeling overwhelmed. Like, literally, we see friends and family. We see new acquaintances. And we also see an advocate or a partner. This week in particular, lean on others. Ask for help. Say thank you when you receive the help. You do not have to walk this path alone. So get out, mix and mingle. When this card comes through in possibilities, it's saying you're not going to meet anyone just kind of like staying in, indoors. Get outside, connect. It may be exactly the connection that you're looking for. Okay. Things don't get serious quickly with the Three of Cups. It's a courtship. It's a chance to see who you are, who they are. It's a chance to meet other people. So allow your heart to experience new things. And if you are dating, looking for love, it might eventually land on the Two of Cups. But there may be a few people exiting and entering your life initially. So it's like, don't fast forward through that phase, because it gives you a chance to see who you are and how you connect with others. Same thing with friendships. You might be looking at who you vibe with the most and then say, all right, I'm going to really focus on this. This will be my bestie. And ultimately, we are looking at a partnership. By the way, this can also be applied to business. This could be someone saying, you're hired, right? We like you. So a handshake, a business handshake, it can be love. It can also simply be a representation of your ability to get people to believe in you. So Three of Cups, Two of Cups, Six of Cups. I like the overall community, partnership, and friendship energy in this week ahead. Let's take a look at an expanded forecast, briefly tuning into the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with your health card, which comprises mind, body, and spirit. And this would be very similar to the Devil card or the Nine of Cups, something that could show extremes. So we have the Sirens coming through as temptation. And basically, it's more like a devil reverse, where you see what could be a destructive or diminishing sort of energy or habit in your life, and you're thinking, I think I'm done with that. It's not really serving my highest good. It's not really making me feel good afterwards. And I feel like enough is enough. And this can be anything, by the way. It's not just overeating, over drinking. It can be overworking. It can be spending time in toxic friendships where afterwards you feel like depleted. It can be toxic environments like I was in. Whatever it is that's just feeling like it's taking more than it's giving. That's what the devil energy is, basically. That's what the siren energy is. And I mentioned that there's going to be the lurking devil energy. We just found it. And because it's aligned with the environment, it does feel like it's someone or something around you rather than something internal. And even when it's the person or the thing around you, there's even one thing past that I'm seeing intuitively. So address that, remove that from you, and then everything else looked pretty good, okay? Don't take the bait. Don't repeat a cycle that hasn't worked before. Clean up the relationships and the energy in your environment, and clean up the environment. For me, I mean, I never kind of like took it for granted, but I really realized just how much an environment can affect health. When I was going through the toxic mold thing, and I'm still detoxing from that, but like I got to the point where my lungs were closing down, my ears were plugging up, and like I had to leave and not come back, because it was, some people don't have the same reaction, but sometimes there are people around us that make us close up like that energetically. Sometimes there are people, or if you're working in a job, it can do the same thing because we have the Ten of Swords. You could be holding so much energy here. What we're seeing is closing up of chakra points, right? So we don't want that to happen. So if you're starting to feel it, do it earlier than later. I waited too long because I worked too much and I worked too hard, and I realized that. And I'm working on that. So that's my thing that I have to focus on. That's why this month things are coming later, because they have to. So you realize your limits, you don't push yourself too far, and don't take the bait, and clean up the environment. These are all the big takeaways here. Now let's kind of look at the other cards here. Things are better than you might think they are, better than they seem. Travel could help. For some of you, you may have been too long in one space. There's a line in Pride and Prejudice where she's like, you want to take a turn about the room? It can clear your mind. Go beyond the room. Go outside. Take a walk. And that can actually change your perspective, because you might bump into somebody. I always do, almost, when I'm just going out the front door. You meet someone, they talk to you, they say hello to Apollo, and all of a sudden your energy changes, and then you're focusing on something new. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, you're out of your headspace a little bit, okay? Spending time with children, if you have children in your life, doing things with people that have a youthful or irreverent sense of, being, personality, younger energy, and social energy. You're actually being pushed out. The universe is saying, why not get out there a little bit? Let's see what else is going on here. If you're starting something new, don't push yourself too hard, in exercise in particular. But if you're starting something new, it is not it's not a sprint. It's a long distance run. And sometimes it's a relay race where you just take one piece at a time. So you don't have to do it all on day one. You don't have to change everything overnight. As I set up my new office and new space, it's going to probably take me 3 days. I need to get the internet. I'm missing some equipment. I don't have a table. It will, by the end of the week, it'll be set up, but I can't do it in a day. I've moved enough to know that. And this time I have to refresh things. So when you're starting something new, don't expect it day one to be perfect. This is true of your diet, exercise, mental health routines. It takes time to build the foundation. If you've never gone to a chiropractor, or if you're having specific issues, particularly in your bones, you want to talk to orthopedic specialist, wherever it might be. And They specialize in every area. They're very specialized. Like some people just do the wrist and hands. Some people do the arms. Some people, like I found that whenever I had something where I'd fallen and maybe had a couple of bones bruised or a radial fracture or whatever, it's like you have to go to 3 doctors because they only look at specific body parts. So if you're feeling it, find the right doctor for the right part of your body that might be going through that and address it. What I do see here is things are not necessarily as bad as they seem. It feels like there's a positive resolution in the long run. Meditate, meditate, meditate. High Priestess energy is the catalyst. She is the thing that can create all the change. So take some time to rest, to sleep, and to recalibrate, okay? Those are the big takeaways with health. And again, most of them are fairly manageable. Let's move on to wealth. You got 2 cards here. I was using the Archangel deck for this. So we have divine discernment and the heart of devotion. So let's talk. So this is wealth. This is affecting how you're spending your time, your money, your resources, your work. Daniel comes through saying, trust in the messages within. They are divinely guided. And this is you looking beyond the projections or the feedback or the gossip, because there could be a little bit of that going on here, especially with this 3 of Cups. This is not an inclusive group. They are saying, we're good, you go somewhere else. And you know what? You deserve something better if that happens. So if a job rejects you, either like at the application phase or a layoff or you're fired, you're also blessed. Wouldn't it be different? It's not how it feels. Wouldn't it be funny if it was called like a blessing? We're blessing you to release you from this path so you can find a place where you be more divinely embraced and find more abundance. That's not what it feels like to get fired, I know, or to get laid off. I've been laid off before. It feels bad, but what I'm trying to do is help you see that there could be a divine blessing. Choose at the beginning. Discernment, though, is saying, I don't need to do this. I'm worth more than this. It's not worth the headache. So this time around, when you look at a new opportunity in front of you, weigh the options. What's the cost? What's the benefit? One thing that I was looking at as I was looking at new spaces was I can't go in an older build anymore. Even if it costs more, I have to go newer build because I'm not 100% okay with the allergies yet. So better to spend a little bit more and have good maintenance and fresh build so that I don't have problems. So cost analysis and trade-off. If I were to look at a job, for instance, with this, I would be looking at how much time I would be away from Apollo. Would I still have time to pursue my other desires and dreams, and how much energy this was taking from me? So it's not just a paycheck. The older you get, it's not just a paycheck. Paycheck matters, but there's other things, and this discernment card is encouraging you to look at that. And if it's too hard to get through the door, find another door. You're the Hierophant. The Hierophant has a skeleton key. 2, in fact. There's at least 1 or 2 options that are better than that. Seraphiel comes through. She was reversed, but the message here is heart of devotion. Let the cup of your heart be filled through the commitment and dedication, or through commitment and dedication. You remember in the weekly forecast, there was that one ace at the very end that was overflowing. This whole week is to get you into that overflowing energy. This is a wordy card. Dedication and commitment, they really happen because your heart feels it. If you don't feel it, don't do it. That's how no disrespect to whoever wrote that. I would just say, if you don't feel it, there's something better out there. The commitment and the dedication happen because of the heart, and the discernment will help you make those better decisions. Okay, quickly looking in 3 major categories, and then we'll go into the next one. So we're going to look at those that have a job, job seekers, retirees, and students. If you have a job, travel could be a little bit intense right now. You might be asked to go, on the plane, on the train, on the automobile more than you'd like. You can push back. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. And if this is something that isn't good in the long run, it might be the tipping point. However, in the travels, you might meet some new people. I actually think this is one of the best weeks ahead of you for networking, making a good splash, getting an advocate, someone on your side here, especially with that 2 of Cups. So it's kind of like the inverted triangle where you're going from a lot to a little bit less to that perfect match. 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups. So I think that by the end of the week, you're going to know who you want to spend time with, what's going to be important to you, and sometimes just having fewer connections, but people that you know that you can text at any time or talk to at any time is key. So you're going to figure out who your friend is or your friends are by the end of this week. And I see at least one solid connection coming through. And I know we're not looking at love, but we're looking at partnership, and that is an important component to business. You don't have to do this alone. I think that's the big takeaway for existing job holders right now. If you're stressed out, if someone's bothering you, find an advocate, get some advice, talk to someone. You can manage it. When we look at the deep past, the near future, and the outcome, they're pretty good. There's something that you're going to solve, and it comes through communication with others. I like the money card this week, and the only thing here is burnout. That's the main thing to avoid this week. If you're burned out and the person that should be looking out for you, oftentimes your boss or a coworker isn't, go somewhere else in the group that looks like there is help and support. These wouldn't be here if you weren't pulling them in. So there are advocates there, but the immediate one around you, not so good. There's someone like a coworker or someone that's kind of getting under your skin, and they're really the source of 8 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 10 of Swords, because I like the rest of the spread. You might also be overdue for a vacation, so take one if you can. I know not everyone can. All right, moving on from those who have a job to job seekers. Everything we just talked about with the rejection is protection sort of thing is doubly underlined and highlighted and exclamation pointed here. So if something isn't working out, you're saving yourself from these 2 cards. So keep networking. It's all about who you know. Sometimes I would say, it's sometimes this week it's all about who you know, not what you know. Somebody that works somewhere can get you in there faster. So whether that's going through, I hate LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, or just DMing someone or having a casual conversation with someone. This could also come, by the way, through a family member, through a friend, possibly through your partner. It's a close connection to you. It's not a traditional, maybe for some of you this could also be like an alumni connection, but I actually just feel like it's word of mouth. You say something and someone's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I know this person. I didn't know you were looking. Why don't you want me just to, I'll give them your number and they can call you. So a casual conversation could help you make that connection. Make sure you're getting out, mixing and mingling this week. If and when that job offer comes through, it looks pretty good with the Knight of Pentacles. A distance component for sure. If you're not looking beyond your current zip code or postal code, city, state, country, or province, please do. There might be something abroad, because this with the ship, it usually could be a different country. Make sure you're looking at those bigger options beyond the obvious choice of your sort of block, wherever you're living. Look long distance. I do like the experience. I think that there might be a better way to convey it. So looking at how your resume or website is highlighting your skills would be important too. And we saw, we have 6, 3, and 2. So these are your power numbers here. No more than 6 weeks. And things could be possibly happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks here as well. All right, moving on to those of you that are students. Students, maybe you're going to travel abroad or learn abroad for a semester. You may also be deciding to go to a different school in a different, again, city, state, country, or province. I know when I was choosing schools, that was important to me. I didn't want to go in the same, I wasn't happy with where my father had taken us on the East Coast. It was just for a business thing, and I was like, I never wanted to stay there. So as I started to look for options, I was like, well, let me go further south, let me go further north, let me go to Europe. Let me try things out a little bit to see where I want to go afterwards, and I think it's good to mix up your options. So for everybody, putting a bigger canvas of geography could help you out. Student life, super important. The friends and the connections you make now can help you throughout your career. So some of you may be working too hard or too much, and 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups is reminding you to say yes to invitations, to networking opportunities and things of that nature. You may have to create something because it doesn't exist. So for students, if you don't see the program that you want, there are certain schools that can work with you to kind of like custom or tailor make a course for you. Maybe some of you want to do an interesting double major, double minor sort of thing. Or again, it's an evolving field like AI is, and you're going to have to look at different ways to pull it together. Some programming, some this and that, whatever. Like back when I was first entering the job market and first looking at schools, the internet was so new, this is a long time ago, that there was maybe only 5 schools in the US that had programs that were called new media. And so I looked at the short list to help me when I was looking at grad school. I'm like, I need a place where there's technology and they're fusing both analog and digital techniques together. And it helped me land on one that was doing it the best. So you might have to tailor make something. It will pay off in the long run. Looking at retirees, here's what I'm seeing for you. Some of you are just feeling, especially if you're a fresh retiree, it's sort of like, who am I? Who am I if I'm not that former job or that former title? It can be very fun. It can also be a little daunting. When I look at people from like my parents and their sort of age group, they didn't know what to do after the job stopped. And many of them only worked one. All of us, we move in different industries, different apartments. Life is moving faster. We don't stay in the same career too long. But for those of you that might have been in something for a while and you're trying to shed the snakeskin and think, what am I next? Have some fun, talk to people, mix and mingle. Again, I really do feel like peers, you need to find a new peer group. And it may not be the old friends because they've moved on, figuratively or literally. And you're going to find new kindred spirits. They may be younger. They may be someone that you've never kind of figured like, oh, that would be who I'd want to hang out with. But I feel like you could find a really great partnership. So I'm actually getting like friendship, love, and community as the main focus for retirees. A little bit of travel, but mostly in the sort of camaraderie energy because we just got so much in that space, okay? And even though I'm not a retiree, I met with some friends last night that I used to work with. I've now been gone from that job for 9 3/4 years. So it's almost been a full decade that I've been doing this. Next January. So we'll do some celebrations on my 10-year anniversary of YouTubing. But what I was thinking about with all of that was when I first left the job and decided to do my own business, I felt guilty. So some of you may feel guilty for not working. I felt out of place because when I met with friends that still were in that energy, they didn't know how's it going? Or what are you doing? Or, so you feel weird and odd a little bit. Lean into the weirdness. And honestly, a lot of people are just jealous because you have more free time. You have more autonomy. We don't all have unlimited resources, but you can choose. You can be your own boss. You spend a lot of time earning that right, by the way. So for all of you that are retired, a big congratulations. Give yourself time and have fun, and don't let people's jealousy or inability to wrap their head around things get in your mojo or get in your way of having some fun, okay? And I think we hit all of the categories there. So now let's go into love and relationships. We'll look at it from the highest level and then briefly look at all of the other ones. Because I want to focus a little bit at the very end at hidden potential before, like as a wrap up. So anyway, Venusian Galactic Council. Well, if we're looking at love, I'm glad we got Venus in the mix here. Star being guides, answer the call, time to shine. So for some of you, you're taking things really high level. And when we're looking at love, it's what you love and who loves you. And we're looking at it beyond just the partnership. This actually could be your planetary calling. So things could be aligning and you have a really big business or personal breakthrough this month because you're aligning to the call. If I were to put a card with this, it would be judgment because we have Archangel Gabriel on judgment, blowing the horn and saying, are you ready? It's your time. And it's everything that I just talked about for retirees, which also happens with students. Once you graduate one thing, you have to go to the next. And so really, the sooner you embrace the new you, the sooner the 3 of Cups, because we also see 3 people in the Venusian Council coming through, 2 or 3 friends are coming through, 2 or 3 new connections. This is very otherworldly. Venus is love. Venus is creativity. Venus is passion. Venus is angry because she never gets picked on the weekly topics. So I may do that for members in the coming month, a special sort of like heart chakra or Venusian focus here, because it is important. We haven't looked at it. I might have to just push it out there occasionally because we do need to look at the heart. It doesn't have to be love interest, but we do need to look at passion. It's been a moment. So yes, as I'm looking at this, the Venus energy is coming through saying, why aren't we looking at me? So it's coming through in love. So we'll at least address a little bit of it here. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to focus on 3 categories: those in a loving relationship, those that are looking for love, and those that are happily single. Okay, so if you're in a relationship, long distance component. Some of you might have a partner that's traveling for work. Some of you may be in love with someone in a different city. Some of you may be taking a break. This could actually be, for those of you that had the justice symbol for this week, I think it was like the second or third that I was looking. It was the second, so it would have been, I have to look back at which order I did it in earth signs, I think. Anyway, if you got justice, some of you are weighing out, do I want to continue? Just because I'm looking at loving relationships, it doesn't always mean marriages. It could just be a partnership that has existed for a while and you're deciding, is this it? Because we change over time and we see that in the 6 of Cups. You get older, you get wiser, you are different. You're not the same person that you were 10 years ago, sometimes even 10 minutes ago. We can change a lot. Things are changing so quickly in these new days here. So you're just tuning in a little bit and deciding, am I in or am I out? Are we working together or are we working against each other? I'm saying that because when I'm looking at the environment, I do see a potential argument. 5 of Swords and 10 of Swords can be argument energy, and it's coming from a place of just you're not seeing and hearing each other. Literally, that's what this is going. And there's frustration. And I actually don't even know if the argument was an intentional thing. Sometimes we just trip into it, and you hit a button that you didn't mean to hit, and then you fight, and then you forget why you're fighting, right? So that's why the key to success for some of you is just take a break, get some distance, and then come back and maybe work on the communication a little bit. In healthy relationships, this can indicate external stress. So one or both of you may be going through a physical issue. There could also be someone in your extended family that's driving you crazy. Could be a sibling, could be an ex, especially for those of you that have blended families where there's a child that requires communication with an ex because you're co-parenting, even though you're in a new relationship. Someone's giving you a headache. So remember that not to take it out on the partner. Whoever the source of, that's what I said. There might be something that's going on here. It's more of a, what do you call it? It's more of like the reaction. It's not the source of it. Let me take another drink and then let's take a look at those that are looking for love. Actually, one last thing before I go there. For those in a relationship, you can absolutely reach a resolution that is positive here with the 2 of Cups. It's just better communication. There's been a breakdown, and sometimes you do have to walk away and get some clarity. But mostly I'm seeing it as an environmental stress. So be there for each other and try not to, this is not the week to have a difficult conversation. I'll leave it at that. You might also be taking a trip to visit family, by the way. So be kind and careful during that. Give yourself extra time and don't take the bait if in-laws are kind of pushing at you. For those that are looking for love right now, it's not coming in an obvious form or from the expected direction or at the expected time. There's a karmic nature to it. 6 of Cups usually has familiarity with it. Either someone that you used to know, possibly someone that you used to date, or someone from a past life. There is a lack of time or presence. Like it feels like, again, this person is traveling in or out. You might be doing that. You may just be going in a lot of different places at once. So slowing down is going to be your biggest challenge. Stress management and self-care are key. There's a lot going on with you. It's a hard time to get serious, and that's why I think it's mostly if you are able to meet someone right now, the Three of Cups is what you kind of expect. It can lead to Two of Cups. It can lead to commitment. But for now, I really feel like you or the other person could be healing or being on a rebound. And so you don't want to rush it. Really take your time here. Earth sign energy coming forward because we have the Knight of Pentacles. It does feel like they're grounded. They were headed in another direction. I don't know if they were looking for this right now. And that might be the challenge too. One or both of you may think you're looking, but when it happens, you're like, oh, it happened quicker, or it's inconvenient because this person isn't in the same city or something of that nature. Or you're from different backgrounds, and that creates some challenges. If you are happily single, for all the reasons I just mentioned, it might be good to be happily single. I don't think you're going to be alone right now because there's so many choices here when we're looking at the Six of Cups, Three of Cups, Two of Cups. So a great time to find new connections, a really important time to focus on self-care. And those are the takeaways there. Let's go ahead and look at your Destiny card. And Destiny basically is the direction that you're headed in at this moment in time. Every week it changes because we make better choices, hopefully. So we have the Salamander, and the Salamander factors in on King and Queen of Wands energy, believe it or not. I'll pull the King card as we're talking. But the Salamander is reminding of your inner power, your inner ability to make things happen. A Salamander has not all, but many, have the ability to, like if they lose part of their tail, they can regrow it. So here you go. If you look on actually have like a little gecko or salamander or lizard, and right there on his throne, we have the same sigil. So there you go. So it's actually beckoning to the King of Wands energy, and it's saying you're the boss, but where are you putting your energy? Because this salamander is kind of topsy-turvy, upside down. Don't make things harder than they need to be. Don't relinquish power unnecessarily. And fan the flames of your passion, just like I was talking about with Venus. I look at the heart chakra as more than just love. It's what ignites your passion. And then we need to also go to the lower chakras, we need to go to the first and second chakras. Passion, creativity, security, control, expression of all of these things are going to be really key in your general success. Bringing it back so that I make sure that we look at potential and wrapping it up. So we're going to do a big idea, and then I'm just going to make sure that I quickly summarize where the connections and the opportunities are, and then we'll go into a meditation. All right, focusing now on that big idea. And yeah, we have an 8-8 portal. I might do something special on the Lionsgate portal, so we'll talk more about that later. Okay, so again, focusing on seeing your potential. This is a perfect perspective shifting card. So you can either focus on, just like the Four of Cups, the Five of Cups is very similar. The big differentiating piece is grief. Usually with the Five of Cups, we're grieving the fact that, or lamenting the fact that something didn't go as expected. But when we let go of that, we realize we can kind of play in the sandbox like she is with these two cups. Let me pull the traditional one because I feel like it does a better job. So it's important to give yourself time to say, that upset me. I wish it could have gone differently. And I need a moment. I need a moment to just get into my head, into my heart, and release it. And once I can do that, this is what's really good with like a 2-year-old. If they need to throw a tantrum, they do. But then 2 minutes later, it's like unicorns and rainbows and all that stuff. Everything's good. Don't be afraid to have a good laugh or a good cry. That can help you through the Five of Cups. But don't spend too much time in that energy, because right behind you is the Two of Cups. And we saw it. It's there. That's literally your outcome, is the Two of Cups. Someone or something wants to make it a little bit better. But she's still in a little bit of malaise. She's kind of like, I don't know. So we need to kind of like shift the perspective a bit to saying, I'm going to feel this. I'm going to release this. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And then enough now. Let's focus on something else. There's something better than this. Okay? Quickly looking at the spread to make sure that we didn't miss potential. I think the biggest potential this month is to save your time and energy. there is a time and energy sink in the 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and 5 of Swords. People, places, and environments that are bringing you down. You don't have time for that anymore, folks. I think that the biggest and most obvious thing coming forth this week is partnership. 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups. In all forms, friends, colleagues, love interests. So that's good. And I think being able to finish something and then choose to kind of address it in a different way, working a lot more intelligently moving forward. Smarter, not harder. Finally, again, working with your passion, because that's where your power is. Passion and intuition are coming together if you're ready to listen. Okay. If you enjoyed this, by the way, do me a favor. Like and subscribe. I'm hoping maybe by the end of the year we can hit another milestone, and I'll do a video for that. We're close. It may take longer than that, but that's my goal. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. It helps. If you'd like to give back, you can do so with super stickers, super chats, and super likes even, and then memberships as well. And if you want to give back also and help me, you can go to the Patreon page, like I said earlier, and that's a great way to, or patron page on my website, where you can do all of this and even a little PayPal thing and give back. So thank you in advance. It helps as I'm getting settled. All of that being said, let's get into a meditation, folks. This is a chance for us to let go and clear the stage and really tune into new moon energy. And this is where we're going to really embrace it. Then we'll look at a final card. Close your eyes, if you will. And in this moment in time, I'd like for you to imagine that you're just above the earth and you're looking at the moon itself. And it's not the sort of dark moon that we see here from this planet. You're just seeing the moon in all its splendor. And it's a really powerful vantage point, because from here you can see the planet. You can also see the sun, which is brilliantly shining. And I'd like you to, from this vantage point, see all of the possibilities in front of you. And almost like looking at a labyrinth or a maze from the bird's eye perspective, you can see where you're at, and you can see the path of least and most resistance. Let's choose the least resistance. Let's allow it to happen easier, quicker, smoother than it normally would. Imagine that you could, from this point, take the moon and kind of like shine a beam onto yourself. This beautiful silver light coming down, even though the new moon doesn't have the energy, we're up in the sky shining down. And in this beam of light, anything is possible. Really focus on the possibilities. Allowing yourself now to travel from that beam of light back to your earthly body. Create some space. That's really what the new moon reminds us, that not everything is going to be seen, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. So in the space of this new moon, plant a wish or a desire and let it go. You've spoken it, you've wished it, you've created it, and now like a little dandelion seed, let it go. And now open your heart and mind to clarity on how to get that, how to make that happen. And think to yourself, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take one last deep breath, firmly plant your feet on the ground, and as you open your eyes, I'd like you to focus on a final question that you have for me. We've got 2 cards, so we'll bring it through. Okay, powerful energy. You reap what you sow is the first thing that comes through. We have the Death card. Ends and beginnings. One thing is coming to a close. One chapter is coming to a close. If you can release something now, also you can fully release it. Karmically, energetically, cyclically, etc. March to the beat of your own drum. We have the Knight of Wands doing just that. We have like a wild Mustang or horse in the background dancing to that as well. And you're creating something new. It doesn't exist right now. So the answer to a yes, no is complicated. What we really see is yes, but you have to let the past go, and you have to really embrace this, whatever it is you want to do. The embracing of the release is the key component here, and it's so much easier to hold on to something than to let it go. That's why even as we were doing the meditation, I'm like, make your wish, let it go. When you are ready, when you can take it or leave it, when you are a little bit detached from it, it can come back to you a lot faster like a boomerang. Okay? And that, my friends, is everything. So again, thank you for being a part of this. We're going to take a couple minutes here to express appreciation. So give me a moment or two to get everything set up here. I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of this community too. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your time and energy here. So I'm going to start off with memberships. And by the way, just in case you needed it, this is also the link to my the page that has all of my sort of ways to give back, the patron page. Okay. So we're going to start off first with the newest members that were either gifted a membership, joined, or joined again. So I appreciate that. All right, so let me replace my pinned message. And let's go here. All right, so here we go. For the, oh yeah, I forgot to put my social media stuff. We'll do that at the end here. For today, we have a lot of people. Okay, welcome back or welcome to the following. Okay, the first name is a little bit unusual. So Yutsna, I think it is. Tiagi, the last name seems a little bit easier. I don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry. But welcome and thank you. It's good to have you here. Luna Star, Miss Tracy, Lily Iris, K&K, Annabella, Nancy, Amy, Kimberly, White Buffalo, I'm just going to say so, thank you. Mikobi, Kathy, Donna, Astrotero, Christy, Sapolina, Cindy, Vasiliki, Janice, Jay Sherman, Lady Lux. How did I get here? Good question. Traverna, She, T, and West. I'm just going with first part of the first names because some of these are not pronounceable. So thank you so much. I appreciate your presence here. Welcome. That's a lot of new people. Again, maybe I'll do a members video this week once I get settled. Taking a moment here to also say thanks to the people that gave back as a fan here. Let's do that next. All right. So Paula, thank you for gifting 5 memberships today. Tahoe, 36 months. How did that happen? Thank you for being a long-time member. You're welcome for the 3 years. Thank you for being here for 3 years. Lucy, thank you for 30 months. Also amazing. And thank you for gifting a membership as well. Jen, 18 months. Wow, a year and a half. Thank you as well. Colette for gifting 5. I appreciate that. Semelina, thank you for gifting a membership and growing the community. I gifted 5, so welcome to the new folks there. And let's see who else. I am Laura. Thank you for gifting 5. Cheryl, 33 months. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Let's see. We have Deborah here, 15 months, almost a year and a half. I appreciate it. I think that's everything there. So now let me say thank you to anybody that gave in the form of a super sticker or super chat. And if I forgot somebody, I always see it when I go back and look at the replay. And I know Dakota's doing a great job of saying thank you in real time. So thanks, Dakota. All right, Lucy, Miss Tracy, Robert, thanks, buddy, for the 50. I appreciate that. Ralu, Jeannie, Kate, Cheryl, Monica. I think I hit everybody. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your love, your support. By the way, if you want to follow me on social media, you can also do that. It's always my full name on all major platforms. You can go to my website for more information on anything. Remember, I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages. If people are trying to message you, block and report. Otherwise, I just want to say thanks for being here and for being, not the final card, thanks for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Wouldn't be here without your love and support. Like I said, the next few days, everything production-wise will be just a little bit unusual. I won't have my setup ready for probably a couple, 2 or 3 days. So when I do my daily card reads, I'll just be walking and talking around the new apartment or the city. And I'm going to try to wrap up everything else today. If my voice continues, because it's a little bit tired, and I'm moving today. So thank you for your patience. I did see comments like, where's Pisces? Where's Aquarius? It's coming, folks. I'm one person and I'm juggling a lot. So thank you for your support. Take care. And I will see you again next week, and we'll figure out what to do as far as new topics and things of that nature. And again, maybe something on the 8/8 portal. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you when I see you.